All right, thanks, guys. The Tigers take on the Pirates, 7:05 Eastern first pitch in Pittsburgh. The Pirates are minus 145, totals at 8.5. Now, we did see a 20-cent move toward Pittsburgh in the early wagering. We also saw movement downward on the total. So once again, Pittsburgh open 125 up to minus 145. Total open 9 down to 8.5. 68% of the consensus is leaning toward Pittsburgh. 86% shaded toward the over. And at the moment, Detroit is plus 135 on the money line. Pittsburgh plus $1.45 on the run line. Now we have Mitch Keller for Pittsburgh, Norris for the Tigers. Keller comes into this game for the Pirates with an 0-1 record and a 15.43 ERA. The Pirates also dropped 8 out of their last 10 ball games. They rank 28th in runs allowed. Give me the Tigers plus 1.5 and the over 8.5 in that game. Next matchup, Rays, Yankees, 7:05 Yankee Stadium. New York opened $1.35, total at 9.5, and since those markets opened this one up, no real surprises here as the Yankees took a little action in the early wagering. Nickel move toward the Yankees. We also saw movement upward on the total up to 10 flat. So once again, the Yankees are minus 140, totals at 10. 75% are leaning Yankees, 69% shaded toward the over. Right now, Tampa Bay is plus 130 on the money line. New York plus $1.30 as well, but that is on the run line. Now we have Jay Happ for the Yankees. Nobody right now for the Rays. We're still looking for a starter, still looking for a probable for Tampa Bay. But when it comes to Jay Happ, he's coming into today's game with a 6-3 record. The Yankees also rank 5th in scoring on average per game. They're also 4th in hits allowed at home. Now, Tampa Bay, on the other side, they dropped 5 out of their last 7. They're 25th in striking out. And when it comes to the total, Tampa Bay is 22-11 to the under away from home. Give me the Yankees minus 140 and the under 10 runs in that game. Next matchup, Phillies, Nationals, 7:05 Washington. The Nats are minus 110, totals at 10. We did see a nickel fade of Washington in the early wagering. We also saw movement upward on the total. Once again, Washington open $1.15 down to minus 110. Total open 9.5 up to 10 flat. 70% are leaning Washington, 67% shaded toward the under. Right now, Philadelphia is plus 105 on the money line. Washington plus $1.70 on the run line. We have Eric Fetty for the Nationals, Zach Eflin for the Phillies. Now, Zach Eflin comes into today's game with a 2.81 ERA, and oddly enough, this Phillies team is winning 73% of their games following a day off. Now, total-wise, Washington is 5-1 to the over in their last 6. Give me the Fightin' Phils plus 105 in the over 10 runs in that game. Next matchup. Looks like I skipped this one. I don't remember capping this one. But anyway, it is the Angels taking on the Blue Jays, 7:07 Eastern first pitch in Toronto. Not sure what the total is on this one, but I will tend to lean toward the Angels getting the job done on the money line in this matchup, winning that one outright for some money line cash. All right, next game, Astros taking on the Reds, 7:10 Eastern first pitch in Cincinnati. The Astros are minus 175, totals at 8 flat. We did see a 15-cent move toward Houston and movement downward on the total in this one. Houston open $1.60 up to minus 175. Total open 8.5 down to 8 flat. 69% are leaning Astros, 56% shaded toward the under. Right now, Cincinnati's plus 155 on the money line. Houston plus $1.05 on the run line. We have Justin Verlander for the Astros, Anthony DeSclafani for the Reds. Verlander's 9-2 with a 2.50 ERA for Houston. The Astros are 13-3 straight up in their last 16 when traveling. They're also first in hits allowed away from home. When it comes to the total, Cincinnati is 12-1 to the under in their last 13. Give me the Astros minus 175 and the under 8 runs in that game. Next matchup, Mets, Braves, 7:20 Eastern first pitch in Atlanta. The Mets are minus 115, totals 8.5. We did see a 10-cent move toward the Mets and movement downward on the total. New York opened $1.05 up to minus 110. Excuse me. New York opened $1.05 up to minus 115. Total open 9 down to 8.5. 51% are leaning Mets, 52% shaded toward the under. Right now, the Braves are plus 105 on the money line. New York plus $1.35 on the run line. We have Jake DeGrom for the Mets, Julio Teheran for the Braves. Teheran comes into this game with a 5-4 record, a 2.92 ERA, and we're looking at an Atlanta team who's fourth in home scoring and winners in 10 out of their last 11 ball games. Now the Mets on the other side, losers in 4 out of their last 5. They're also just 14 and 23 straight up away from home. Really bad stat there. Once again, the Mets winners in just 14 out of 37 games away from home. When it comes to the scoring, the Mets are 6-1 to the over in their last 7. Give me the Braves plus 105 and the over 8.5 in that game. Next matchup, Cleveland taking on the Rangers, 8:05 Eastern first pitch in Arlington, Texas. The Indians are minus 130, totals 10.5. 15-cent move toward the Indians and movement upward on the total. Cleveland open $1.15 up to minus 130. Total open 10 up to 10.5. 51% are leaning Indians, 77% shaded toward the over. Right now, Texas is plus 120 on the money line. Cleveland plus $1.20 on the run line. We have Zach Plesac for the Indians, Adrian Sampson for the Rangers. Now, Sampson comes into this game with a 5-3 record for the Rangers. Texas also ranks 3rd in home scoring. They're 12-6 in their last 18 at any location. And Cleveland on the other side ranks 24th in scoring on average per game. They're also 2nd to last in hits. Now, total-wise, Texas 13-6 to the under in their last 19. Give me the Rangers plus 1.5 and the under 10.5 in that matchup there. Next game, White Sox, Cubs, 8:05 Chicago. Of course, that will be Wrigley Field in Chicago. The Cubbies, no real surprises here. They're the favorite, but they're a hefty favorite in this one. They're minus 225. No line on the total as of yet. And I typically say it normally when we have games at Wrigley Field. You normally don't see a line posted on the total until about 2 hours before first pitch because of those swirling winds. But anyway, Chicago opened, the Cubbies opened minus 210 up to minus 225. No line on the total as of yet. 59% of the consensus is leaning toward the Cubs. And at the moment, the White Sox are plus 210 on the money line. Then we have Ivan Nova for the White Sox, Cole Hamels for the Cubs. I'll tell you what, Cole Hamels, fountain of youth. He's 6-2 with a 2.98 ERA. Meanwhile, on the other side, Ivan Nova just 3-5 with a 6.28 ERA for the White Sox. The White Sox are also losers in 6 out of their last 8 away from home. They're 23rd in runs allowed in Major League Baseball. They're also 25th in walks allowed. Give me the Cubbies minus 1.5, getting the job done for some run line cash in that matchup there. Next matchup, Red Sox, Twins, 8-10 Minnesota. Now, Boston's minus 120 in this one. Boston is the favorite on the road. Totals at 9.5. Now, this one pretty much opened as a pick'em, both teams at minus 105. But since the markets opened that one up, we did see a 15-cent move toward the Red Sox. So once again, Boston opened $1.05 up to minus 120. Total open 10 down to 9.5. 57% are leaning Boston, 58% shaded toward the under. Right now, Minnesota's plus $1 on the money line at home. Boston plus 130, laying the run and a half. We have David Price for the Red Sox, Pineda for the Twins. Pineda comes into this matchup with a 4-3 record. Minnesota's also first in scoring, first in hits, 10-4 straight up in their last 14 at home. Meanwhile, the Sox on the other side, 15th in runs allowed on the road. Now, total-wise, Minnesota 21-14 to the under at home. Give me the Twins plus $1 winning this one outright, catching a little bit of even money juice for a home win, and the under 9.5 in that game. Once again, give me Minnesota plus $1 and the under 9.5 in that game. Next matchup, Marlins, Cardinals, 8:15, St. Louis. The Cards are minus 205, totals at 8. 55% are leaning St. Louis, 78% shaded toward the over. Right now, the Marlins are plus 190 on the money line. We have Jordan Yamamoto, probable for the Marlins. Jack Flaherty for the Cards. Let's put it bluntly. Miami is ranking dead last in scoring. They're also second to last in walks allowed. And when it comes to the totals, St. Louis is 20-14 to the under at home. Give me the Cardinals minus 1.5 in the under, 8 runs in that game. Next matchup, Rockies, Diamondbacks, 940 Arizona. The D-backs are minus 145, totals at 10. We did see a 20-cent move toward the Diamondbacks and movement upward on the total. Arizona open $1.25 up to minus 145. Total open 9.5 up to 10. 64% are leaning Arizona, 74% shaded toward the over. Right now, the Rockies are plus 135 on the money line. The Diamondbacks plus 140 on the run line. We have Merrill Kelly for the D-backs, Antonio Sensatella for Colorado. Now, Sensatella comes into this matchup with a 5.48 ERA. Meanwhile, on the other side, Merrill Kelly, 7-6 on the year with a 3.73 ERA. Arizona 7th in scoring, 4th in hits. The Rockies on the other side, 26th in runs allowed, 26th in hits allowed on average. They've also dropped 5 out of their last 7 when traveling. And of course, when it comes to the total, this Arizona team is 19-11 to the under at Chase Field. They're also 80% to the under in their last 5 at home as well. So with all that in mind, I'm going to lean Arizona minus 145 in the under, 10 runs in that game. Next matchup, Baltimore taking on Oakland, 10:07 Bay Area. Oakland's minus 215, totals at 9. 55% are leaning Athletics, 76% shaded toward the over. Right now, Baltimore is plus 195 on the money line. Oakland minus $1.15 on the run line. We have Brett Anderson for the Oakland A's. Gabriel Enois for Baltimore. Enois is just 0-3 with a 5.02 ERA. Anderson on the other side, 6-4 with a 3.89 ERA for the Athletics. Baltimore is officially 30 games under 500 so far. They're just 21-51 overall for the year. They also won just 12 out of 35 games away from home. One more thing to add about the Orioles. They rank dead last in Major League Baseball in runs allowed on average per game. Now, total-wise, Oakland's 5-2 to the under in their last 7. Give me the A's minus 1.5 and the under 9 runs in that game. Next matchup, it is going to be Giants taking on the Dodgers. That'll be a 10:10 Eastern first pitch in Los Angeles. The Dodgers are minus 270, totals at 8. Now, we did see a 30-cent move toward LA in the early wagering. We also saw movement upward on the total. Once again, LA opened 240 up to minus 270. Total open 7.5 up to 8 flat. 73% are leaning Dodgers, 64% shaded toward the under. Right now, the Giants are plus 230 on the money line. Dodgers minus $1.20 on the run line. We have Clayton Kershaw on the bump for the Dodgers. Anderson on the bump for the Giants. Kershaw's coming into this game with a 6-1 record, 3.25 ERA for the Dodgers. LA's 3rd in home scoring, 2nd in home hits. They are also 28-9 straight up at Dodger Stadium this year. Now, total-wise, the Giants are 9-3 to the over on the road when the line was 8 to 8.5. Give me the Dodgers minus 1.5 and the over 8 runs in that game. Next matchup, Brewers, Padres, 10:10 San Diego. No line currently posted for this game. We have no line, but we do have some probables. We have Woodruff for the Brewers, Logan Allen for the Padres. Now, Logan Allen is making his first start for the Padres this year. Meanwhile, on the other side, Woodruff is 8-1 with a 3.87 ERA. Very good production out of Brandon Woodruff for Milwaukee. Now, the Brewers ranked 4th in walks. They're 8 games over 500. They're 40-32 overall for the year. I know they're traveling, but I think they should get this one done. Give me Milwaukee winning this one outright for some money line cash. All right, next and final game for the show. It is going to be Kansas City taking on the Mariners. 10:10 Eastern first pitch in Seattle. The Mariners are minus 135, totals at 9. We did see a nickel move towards Seattle and movement downward on the total. The Mariners open 130, up to minus 135. Total open 9.5, down to 9 flat. 62% are leaning Seattle, 78% shaded toward the over. Right now, the Royals are plus 120 on the money line. Seattle plus $1.50 on the run line. We have Kikuchi for Seattle, Homer Bailey for Kansas City. Now, if you didn't know, Seattle really struggling. And as a matter of fact, they have dropped to 14 games under 500. The Mariners are just 31-45 overall for the year. What the hell happened between this year and last year? All those one-run victories from last year certainly catching up to them. Seattle's also been winners in just 13 out of 36 games on their home field.